ladies and gentlemen. This is Jack Douglas. When we think of Texas, most of us are inclined to think of wide open spaces, dusty cattle drives, or oil barons flying to work in a solid gold airplane. But the truth is that from a vacation point of view, Texas paints a totally different picture for the tourist. And by way of proof, our entire program tonight will be devoted to the colorful things that you can see and do when in Texas. Let's say we've been driving south from New Mexico on the Jefferson-Davis Highway, and just ahead the sign says Texas, but the sign is slightly premature. This narrow sliver of water has been with us all the way, from its source in the Rockies of Colorado, right through the heart of New Mexico, and now into Texas. This is the legendary Rio Grande. Here at the New Mexico-Texas border, they pronounce it Rio Grande, but 500 miles downstream, Texans use the Spanish pronunciation Rio Grande. And that large, ordinary rock, no bronze, no plaque, is generally accepted as the boundary. At this point, the Rio Grande belongs to Texas, and all the way to the Gulf, it serves as the natural boundary between Texas and Mexico. Just beyond the rock marker is the parish known as Smelterville, Texas. The village is a New Mexico peak called Sierra de Cristo Rey, Mountain of Christ the King. The weather-beaten sign hardly does justice to the magnificent concrete image of Cristo Rey. It is the largest and most striking symbol of Christian devotion on the North American continent. Well, today the pilgrims are few, just 2 young villagers. But in October, the worshipers pour in by the thousands from Texas, Mexico, New Mexico, Arizona, Colorado. They come in such large numbers that this desolate valley below becomes a field of carnival colors. But this was not October, and only 2 came and prayed and went their way. This is San Antonio, famous in pop music as the Rose of San Antone. And the downtown signs make sure everyone knows that the Alamo is here in San Antonio. This is not a park, but a section of the downtown district. For this is the lovely San Antonio River, which lazily cuts its way through the heart of the city. This river gondola is operated by a local restaurant, the Casa Rio, and so long as you don't mention the word Alaska, you can enjoy 2 entertainments for the price of 1, a fine meal and a serene cruise on the river. For the younger set, they have do-it-yourself paddle wheelers. Incidentally, the young beauty is a visitor from Spain, and her escort is a GI stationed at a local army base. But they're getting along just fine. Many Texans speak Spanish as fluently as English. Anyway, on a day as nice as this, when a pretty senorita from Spain is your guest, you don't need words. What I mean is, we need footwork, because after those first 100 yards, oh, how those leg muscles ache. If you were to say Alamo, you would be right and wrong. This is Hollywood's Alamo at sundown, the Alamo built at Brackettville, Texas, for the super movie starring John Wayne. Now, most Hollywood sets are nothing more than a shell, paint on canvas or flimsy wood. But for once, Hollywood played it straight. They built an Alamo of concrete and stone, so massive in dimensions that even after the climactic battle sequences, much of the original set remains. Nearby, Hollywood created Alamo Village, a real town made to look as San Antonio did in those glorious days of early Texas history. Well, when Hollywood left, the Texans took over, and Alamo Village has been preserved as a tourist attraction. Y'all had better believe it. The 6 guns will be blazing in just about 3 seconds. In Texas, as in the movies, the hero always wins. 3 performances daily. The real West of yesteryear is preserved in this handsome, modern building, the Amon Carter Museum of Western Art in Fort Worth. Now, except for traveling exhibits, the museum is exclusively devoted to the works of Remington and Russell. This magnificent bronze is Remington, the Stampede. His first lesson aptly describes Remington on canvas. Now this is the great Russell, meeting in a blizzard. Remington again, the French trapper. And a final look at the immortal Remington, the Scouts report at breakfast on the plains. Visit this one museum, and you will have seen the finest in Western art and sculpture. 6 flags have flown over Texas soil: Spain, France, Mexico, the Confederacy, the Republic of Texas, and the United States. Celebrating this unusual historic occurrence, there has been created at Arlington, midway between Dallas and Fort Worth, an enormous entertainment arena called, appropriately enough, 6 Flags Over Texas. And once you're inside the admission gates, there's no doubt about it, you're in Texas. This drill team is the Sam Houston Rifles from Arlington State College. The El Chocha Railway, complete with sombrero canopies, tours the perimeter of the park. The Cotton Barge is a raft ride between the mainland and Skull Island. Now, we can't show you Skull Island because, frankly, our photographer chickened out. LaSalle's riverboat ride sounds like fun, but when the cannons at the Spanish fort open fire, it's women and children first, and the last one out is crazy. Really, it's a fascinating but frightening attraction, and one of the finest we've seen. Well, we've made it all right, and look, isn't that beaver cute? Not so cute. Shucks, missed him again. Here's the most popular ride at 6 Flags, the log flume, featuring, or so it seems, water that goes uphill. Flags has its own bank, but take it from me, it's a shaky institution. It's forever getting robbed 6 times a day by brazen bandits who sneer at the law. Well, the smart alecky bandits are neatly disposed of, but at least one spectator is mighty unhappy. Guess he owns the bank across the street. At 6 Flags, a touch of history plus family entertainment awaiting you when in Texas. Denison, Texas is not a large city. Its population is measured in a handful of thousands. But Denison's claim to fame can only be matched by a few American cities and towns. For here in this small community, at the corner of Day Street and Lamar, is the birthplace of a man twice elected President of the United States. This simple 2-story frame house was the birthplace of Dwight David Eisenhower. The Eisenhower Birthplace is open to visitors daily except Mondays, and the home has been declared a monument by the state of Texas. The wallpaper throughout the house was selected by Mamie Eisenhower a few years ago. Dwight David Eisenhower, from these humble surroundings, he went on to become a soldier, an educator, and president of his country.
Hello, I'm the hostess here at the Eisenhower Birthplace, and this is the room where President Eisenhower was born. We Dennisonians are very proud of having a president born in our little city. This quilt was made by President Eisenhower's mother. President Eisenhower and his brothers gave this quilt to the home in 1946. He and his brothers also helped to piece and make this quilt. Why don't you go through and see the rest of the house?
The rest of the house, especially the kitchen, is marked by simplicity and plainness. This is the wedding picture of the president's parents, David and Ida. Still another small community, Jefferson, Texas, gives us the chance to turn back the hands of the clock to an even earlier period. You can stay overnight at the quiet Excelsior House, and during festive holidays, you'll see the young ladies of Jefferson walking the streets in attractive gay 90s costumes. Here at Jefferson, Jay Gould's private railway car has come to a final stop. Now, in the days of the railroad empire builders, Jay Gould was one of the richest and most feared men on Wall Street. His private car, resurrected and maintained by a local garden club, is a throwback to the days when money meant nothing so long as you spent it on yourself. And even in those days, the car cost $200,000, more than $1 million by today's standards. The private bath was considered quite elegant, and the gold-trimmed design is of the Jaybird, Jay Gould's preference to his initial. In one of the staterooms is a portrait of one of the most beautiful women of her time, Edith Kingston Gould, an actress and the wife of George Gould. It was an age of elegance, yes, but it was the kind of elegance that came with money and not with breeding and tradition. For the most famous home in Texas, we must visit the Sam Houston Memorial in Huntsville. The father of Texas independence built his home here in 1847, and here he lived until his death in 1863, 16 of the happiest years of his life. Because of the dangers of heat and fire, the kitchen of the Houston home was a separate structure. Adjacent to the kitchen is a similar cabin, which he used as his law office when not occupied with state and national matters. The grounds of the Houston Shrine are not large, but attractive and well-groomed, a peaceful resting place for the mortal remains of the hero of San Jacinto. You don't have to be a Texan to remove your hat. Andrew Jackson said, "The world will take care of Houston's fame." How right he was. Samuel Houston, the Virginian who became governor of Tennessee, twice president of the Republic of Texas, governor of Texas, and United States Senator. The town of Langtry, Texas might not exist had it not been for Judge Roy Bean, that amazing character who dubbed himself the Law west of the Pecos. This saloon is the actual building that served as Bean's home, office, courtroom, and hangout. He called it the Jersey Lily, in honor of Lily Langtry, the actress. There isn't much to see here, not even at the small Frontier Museum. Some lovely cactus in bloom, yes, and the grim caricature of the kind of justice that prevailed when men like Roy Bean became the guardians of justice. This was law Roy Bean style, west of the Pecos. This isn't the famous King Ranch in Texas, but a far more typical working ranch, the Happy Shahan Spread at Brackettville in southwest Texas, not too far from the Mexican border. The slender cowboy riding tall in the saddle is the owner of this 35 square miles of cattle country, Happy Shahan, and we asked Hap to tell us about the life of a present-day cowboy.
Being a working cowboy, work through the years hasn't changed much, but I like it.
Well, that has to be the shortest speech ever made by a Texan on any subject. But seriously, the cowboy's life hasn't changed much. It's mostly heat, dust, and lots of work, and even the women folk have to lend a hand with the chores. The young colt approaching the looped lariat is fresh from pasture. He's never been bridled or ridden. Now, if they tried to lasso the colt as they do in the movies, the colt would spook. So the cowboy works slowly and gently. Easy does it, and the colt has his first bridle, the hackabar. After chow, the cowhands pitch horseshoes, because by the end of the day, they barely have strength enough for anything else. And an hour later, day is done at the Shahan Ranch. After the dry prairie, this cool, clear water is a welcome sight. A river, a lake? No, this is Aquarena at San Marcos, just a few miles northeast of San Antonio. Situated on the banks of the San Marcos Springs, headwaters of the San Marcos River, Aquarena is a year-round entertainment park with the accent on water. You'd expect to find glass-bottom boats on this spring-fed lake, and you won't be disappointed. The submarine theater is only partially submerged, so that if you take a camera along, you'll be able to snap unusual pictures such as this. Also featured in the water show is a pig that swims, mermaids in ballet sequences, and a very talented clown who would have us believe that he can blow bubbles through his ears or smoke a pipe underwater. For the jet age, the Skyride offers some scenic views from a top altitude of 110 feet. Aquarena at San Marcos, well worth a stop when you're driving through the heart of Texas. This rickety old house on Maple Drive in Dallas is haunted, or haunted if we drop the H. Well, with or without the H, there's the devil to pay when night falls and the witches' torches burn. Well, let's be brave and troop inside.
If you all will step up here and say the magic word to Sam, he'll let you in.
I have to talk to this?
You have to talk to Sam.
Hello, Sam. Oh,
you go. Go in there.
Go ahead.
Oh, no. Step right through the door and turn left.
Oh, no.
All right, and turn left.
That's it. Right through the door and turn left.
This cabinet contains a human head, a most attractive blonde human head. Of course it's real, and yet if you touch it, the skin is cold and clammy, and for a split second you wonder if it is real. And then the head winks back and smiles, and you feel a little foolish, but greatly relieved. In the main room, the mummy coffin opens to reveal a vampirette in a brief black costume. She glares, but only for a moment. Sure, the vampirette is a cocktail waitress, one of a dozen beauties in black at this unusual night spot. King doors, mummies hang from the ceiling, vampirettes hide in coffins, and blondes without bodies live in cabinets. All at the haunted house, a sightseer's must in Dallas. Yes, you may see this in Texas, a touch of daffy surrealism in the sands. But this is also Texas, legendary rivers like the Brazos and a countryside rapidly turning green. At Fort Worth, the Botanic Gardens have all the greenery and shade you could possibly want, a far cry from the parched Texas of other years. These are magnificent gardens and in season, possibly the equal of any in America. Texas abounds in other forms of natural wonders, such as the Longhorn Cavern in Burnett County. Now, it's not true that if you've seen one cavern, you've seen them all. To be sure, the Longhorn has the usual stalactites found in caves and caverns, but it also has walls covered with crystals that look like polished jewels. In the Queen's Room, this crude sculpture, the Queen's Watchdog, is a mystery. Some experts think it's a primitive idol, others that it was carved by Indians. In relatively modern times, the cavern has been used by Indians, outlaws, and also Confederate troops who manufactured and stored gunpowder in these very caves. Oh yes, there's an extra added attraction, bats, hundreds of bats. Look closer, you can see them flitting across your screen. A touch of Dracula in the dark recesses of the earth. Leave it to Texas to have caverns that are really different. Well, these have been merely flashes of a few of the many interesting things there are to see and do on your vacation trip to Texas. You may see much more or a little less, depending on how carefully you plan your trip. For remember that this Texas is enormous, as big as half a dozen European countries combined. Now, if you're driving or flying in from the west, don't overlook El Paso, the gateway to the Rio Grande country. As for the memories you'll bring back, well, this is my favorite recollection, the hour of sundown, a single tree silhouetted against a burning pink sky and streaked with black clouds. You'll see it, you'll remember it, when in Texas.